Welcome to Beyond Our Focus. I'm Stefan, this is Amanda, and this is Would You Blink If Amanda's left ear was at stake.
My right ear.
Right ear, whatever ear. It's an ear, it's on my left.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Right? Yeah.
What is this?
You never eat. Oh, that's right.
I'm sorry, I was sheltered.
We've
gone over this.
Poor sheltered child. Anyways.
What does this mean?
It's telling your left and your right by your left hand actually making an O, and this one being backwards.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Because it's that hard to figure out which side you're left and right.
When you're a kid, they're teaching you different things. They're like, just go like this. The left one makes an extra.
See, I was just bred to be smarter than that. Didn't need all that.
You're bred to be smarter.
Bred to be smarter.
Yeah. You're also very, very sheltered.
Very sheltered. I'm so sorry. Oh, anyways, today's question has nothing to do with that. But today's question is:
would you be able to tell your left and your right hand if you could hold your hands out?
Pretty much. Apparently you can. I was unaware of this, but okay, sure. It's a thing.
Trivia.
So, would you...
You don't even know how to work.
I'm trying to remember exactly how I phrased it. Because I always phrased it differently. Would you give up 10 years of your life if your pet could live as long as you?
So, what is the catch?
The catch is losing 10 years of your life. That is the catch.
How does this happen?
Magic, apparently.
Magic. We have a lot of magic on the show.
I mean, there's always magic. I mean, there's no logical way this could work. This really just isn't. I don't know any scientific way you could extend your pet's life 5 times beyond what it normally would be. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But you would say, hey, you get a pet. You really like this pet. This pet's doing what you want it to do. It's fantastic. Hey, I mean, that's how it works. I mean, sometimes pets aren't so great. Sometimes you get them, and then after a while, it's like,
this thing is you want.
Yeah, and it's like, this thing is just pure evil. This isn't good at all. It's just evil. But you like your pet, whatever. You go to said place like, all right, it's going to be 10 years of your life, and it's going to extend your pet to roughly the age you would be.
So, is this 10 years as in, you don't know when you're going to die, but it's going to be 10 years off your life? Or is it kind of like off the top? Like instead of 80, it's 70, and 70
off
it's
top.
60?
Off top's more fun, just because it makes it a little bit easier. You lose those worst parts. You lose the grandma and grandpa days. The ones where it's like, I can't move around with a cane, I can't play games anymore because my thumbs don't work. Those are the years we're losing.
We're getting rid of your important years, the ones you're most scared of.
It's terrifying. Why do you think I want to live forever? I don't want to ever get old.
So, what happens if you have more than one pet?
That's 20 years, 30 years, 40 years.
So
at some point, you're just going to die off right there.
So it's 10 years per pet that you do this for.
Yes.
So if you have more than one pet, you kind of have to choose?
Pretty much. Pick your favorite
horrible.
one. It is horrible, but one will die at its normal age, and your favorite one, well,
what if
get extended for the next however many years.
So
50, 60, 40, however, roughly.
Does it just age slower, or is it just...
That would be the most logical conclusion.
Because, I was thinking about, what if your animal's already in its senior years, then are you just extending its misery, or...
I'm not going to say it's going to get younger.
Well, it's not Benjamin Button, jeez.
What I'm saying is, if it's already in its seniors, it's...
I'm just saying, if it's in its senior years, are you just prolonging its pain and misery, or is it just
maybe don't do it to a senior dog.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. But if it's a puppy, it just ages. So what you're saying is
probably wouldn't do it as a puppy either. Huh? No, I said you probably wouldn't want to do it as a little puppy, unless you really want to live out that little you'd get the ultimate puppy phase. It would be a puppy for probably 10, like a real child at this point. Which could be awesome, because having a puppy is always awesome. But how long of having a puppy before it gets annoying? Can we teach this puppy? Can it learn a little faster? Potty training.
So you want to get it around 1 year. Maybe.
Or as soon as you think it's potty trained, go. All right. And so it can still have some puppy years?
So is this? We've been talking about dogs. Is this any animal?
Any animal. Any pet.
You could do this for your kitty.
Kitty, you fish. Which would be weird, but you fish.
Hey, people like their fish.
They do, but the fish really don't have that much personality.
Could you imagine if you had a fish tank and you're like, well, do I pick one or do I just do the whole school?
And you die right there. Which means it would die too.
Okay, so they only live as long as you do.
I mean, that's the purpose of this.
Well, then see, I don't really know then, because if you're saying they live as long as you, but also they can still die before then.
I mean, it's a gamble. It's a gamble. It's a gamble. I mean, anything can actually die before that. It is not becoming immortal. It's not the immortal kitty cat that's going.
Hey, they have 9 lives anyways, so come on.
It's still a normal pet with an extended life. So do it to you. If you love your pet, do it, and you both of you will live hopefully long and healthy lives. But like real people and real things, it can still die. Which sucks no matter what, but...
And then if you pass... Well, see, that's really difficult considering that most of the time when an animal is yours, I mean, you love this animal, but especially if you have a spouse or something, that spouse becomes attached to said animal too. Meaning if you, for some reason, get in a car accident or something, essentially you're killing yourself and killing that animal.
I mean, I could be fine with this just being you're giving it a X amount of years.
Okay, that seems basically a lot better and a lot less
roughly
cruel,
till you're 90. We'll say 90. 90 is a
okay.
good number, not 100. Most people don't make it that far. You get lucky if you make it to 90 at this point.
I don't know. I can't do this. Oh my gosh.
So hey, you're saying you've got 60 years on your life. You're adding 60 years to this cat's life, which now you only have 50. But
I don't know. I just thought about it in the worst way possible. Because it's like, I thought about it that way, like, okay, so your spouse is not only losing you, but it's losing this animal. But then I also always have had this, like, horrifying notion of passing before my animal, and then my animal being, like, absolutely miserable. Because that does happen to animals.
I give you an inch, you try to take a mile here. What do you want? What do you want?
I don't know. I want a happy animal.
You want
I
don't want it to ever die, but I need it to die immediately.
I don't know. I just don't want it to be miserable. That's all. Like, I don't want to extend it.
It doesn't die if it's happy, but if it's miserable, it dies immediately.
No, here's the thing. The first one was, okay, I don't want said other person who loves this animal to be miserable because they lost just 2 people instead of 1. Well, and then my second one...
You gave your life force to this thing. When you die, it dies.
Okay.
Plain and simple. We're back to that. You've killed everything. I tried to give you a little bit. You destroyed it.
I tried, and then I realized it was 10 times... I'm sorry, human beings. I don't like you guys as much, but I found it 10 times more sad to think of an animal mourning than a person mourning, both a person and an animal, because I am a cold-hearted
So like I said, you're giving this animal 10 years, 10 of your years of life force, which is extending it a lot. So it's gaining that. Like I said, we've got about 60 left in us, so 60 years.
Well, then I think the hardest part of this decision would be if you have more than one animal.
That would be the hard one.
That would be definitely,
because I'm sure
20 years.
One pet, 10 years off the top, it's 90 to 80. I think I could probably do it for one time for sure. One time. After that, probably not. Actually, not even probably. Definitely not.
For me, I don't know. I might be able to just stop at 70. No. So that'd be at least 2 animals.
No, I can't.
Because for me, it's like, what if you give your 10 years to that said animal, and said animal gets hit by a car, and then you end up getting another animal, and you're like,
I feel bad because you're not going to make it. You're not getting the special treatment my last one did. I'm so sorry, but I have finite time in me, and I don't need to just...
I don't know. But I think we're both in agreement then, sort of, that at least one.
At least one?
At least once.
Because, I mean, everybody dreams of, like, actually having their pet.
Yes.
Last. Because, unfortunately, I mean, big dogs are 10-ish years. Small dogs can be more like 15 years. But that's what you get.
And especially depending on what age you get them, it's like they pretty much grow up with you.
Yeah. I mean, they grow with you, you grow with them. You're with them for a large portion of your life, and it's pretty sucky when they go. But it's unfortunately inevitable, and it's something you have to just be aware of in life. That
to me, especially to me, to a lot of people, but I know personally for me, it's like losing a person in your life. It is like losing your best friend or your child or just anything. Like, to me, I don't see a difference between losing a human and losing an animal. It's just that painful to me. So, yes, extending an animal's life would be like a definite yes for me. As I said, my part would just get a little trickier if I had a second animal. Because I really want a second animal already.
Lives, please?
Can I go make a deal with Satin?
Satin. Little Satin there. I think we just got a Satin was Batman.
Yeah. Don't trust Silk.
Don't trust
Hail
Silk.
Satin.
I didn't start the timer. I have no idea how long we've been going.
Anyways, we know my answer, so what's yours?
I feel like we've been going a good amount of time. I mean, I think I agreed. I could do one, but only one.
Me, I might be willing to cut it down to 70. Depends how trusty said animal is.
Well, what if we did it now, and in 20 years, the dog gets hit or something and it dies? At that point, when you're 50, is taking 10 more years off worth it? Because then it becomes real scary. Because then 10 years is a third of your life you're chopping off.
But then you at least know that animal's going to stay with you for the rest of your life.
Probably. Don't be negligent.
But no. For sure, yes, one animal on the top. But me, a second one is questionable.
The second one's a definite no for me. I just can't do it. Buddy, I'm going to guard you with everything I've got, but I...
You are officially my Horcrux.
I mean, you're giving a part of yourself to it.
It's
kind of a Horcrux.
Yeah, it's officially a part of your soul or a part of your lifespan, so yeah.
But, I mean,
I don't think if the
you can't
animal...
make 7 of them.
I don't think if the animal dies, though, it like... Well, I guess technically if the animal dies, it is painful. And it does feel like a part of you is gone. So yes, it is officially a Horcrux. We've turned this into a Harry Potter reference.
Why not? I think it was fun. I think it was a fun little thing. I think a lot of people would end up doing it.
I think
more
so,
than
too.
a lot, I think. Or anyone who really, really, really likes pets.
It is crazy when you actually run into people who still are like, oh, it's just a family pet. I'm going to get another one as soon as this one goes and stuff like that. It is insane running to these people.
There are certain people that the pets literally, they mean nothing. They mean nothing. Oh, it's a pet for the child. And I know certain people who have gotten rid of like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dogs.
It's like, even if they're not mean about it, even if they're not negligent, it's like they feed, they water the thing, but it's like literally it is a thing. It is a pet. It is not a family member. It is a thing that lives in the house. It can be mildly entertaining. They let it out. They feed it. They just pat it on the head a couple of times. But otherwise, I mean, if something happens to it, it's like, well, time to stop by the animal shelter, or it's time to step by the pet store. Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
Would it be wrong to assume that tends to be more with people who have children?
I don't know.
Because people who don't have children get pets, that becomes like a child. But people who do have children get pets, it becomes a thing for the kid.
I would say yes and no. Because to me, a lot of times when someone gets a pet with the said person, whatever, either they tend to start liking the pet more because their child demon spawn, or they almost view it as a pair. Like with us, me growing up, we did have a Cocker Spaniel.
Well, what I'm saying,
it grew up with me, and it was my brother.
Well, I understand that. Yeah. I mean, as far as the parents went.
Yeah. Like,
But what I'm saying is not necessarily that all people with children hate pets.
No. I'm just
I
saying.
was saying is that in general, if someone doesn't have kids and they get a pet, that pet guaranteed is going to be that person's main thing. But someone with kids, it's more of a 50, 40, 60 toss-up that it's not going to be part of the family as much. Because I've not seen someone who didn't have children had a pet just say, they're disposable. But anytime you see anyone who does think that the pets are more disposable, have children.
I actually have not. I've actually seen the opposite. Because for me, when someone has children and then they have animals, it's usually kind of a family unit. They're not as oh my goodness, this is my child. But that is part of the family. It is the whole kids, the dog, the stuff like that. To me, the more times I've seen people who are okay, my dog just passed, I'm going to go get another one, is people who use their animals as guard dogs.
Well, that's slightly different.
Who get their animal purely for security.
Well, that's getting something for a purpose.
It doesn't matter.
It's like buying a security camera.
It is still an animal. And it's still being brought into their home. Okay?
Not the reference I was going with. Usually,
well, I'm just saying.
I was going for if someone's buying a pet to be an actual pet, and not I'm using you as the local attack dog.
I'm just saying that's where I run into the most people who are oh, it's a thing.
Well, that's because they're buying it as a thing to be a thing.
Well, it is not a thing, anyways.
They're using it as a security camera, an expensive biting security camera.
I don't know. I just think people are weird. But yeah.
We already knew that people are weird.
Anyways.
Yes. Anyways, that went really
weird places.
In there.
Anyways.
Yeah. It's
Goodbye, guys. No intro, no outro, no nothing. Goodbye. I'm done.
As always, you can reach me at Beyond. Nope. You can reach me at Stars and Travels, Rich Manic, KZ Pop. First to show up Beyond our focus on everywhere, including YouTube and podcast services around the globe. Maybe. Why not?
Cali, Texas.
We know, not Cal. Not Cali.
Sweden.
Space brains.
Yeah, the space brains don't like us.
Devil's Hole.
Check out yesterday's episode of Unlocking the Beyond.
It's a weird one.
I don't just go.
It's a weird one.
Just go.
Any final thoughts?
No. It goes to different places. We're done.
Okay. Till next time. Long days and pleasant nights.